Well, thanks, Michael, for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk, and good to see you. I guess we're about almost 2 months into this new semester. I don't know if anything school wise is kind of routine yet for you, just because it's so weird. But have you kind of been able to find some semblance of a new normal, if you will, whether it's your Zoom classes and practice schedules and all of that stuff?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Jeff. Yeah, school is kind of getting into routine now just because figured out what classes are synchronous and asynchronous and figured out what homework needs to be done on what day and when I actually need to tune into class. And so I've started to get into routine there, started to get into routine with practices and lifting and everything. So it's going okay right now.
You guys have been practicing for quite a while, I guess now, right? Have you kind of been able to focus on some skill development and other stuff that maybe in a normal year you wouldn't be able to, just because you just don't have the time? Is that been one benefit, if you will, of this?
Yeah. So with all the free time and kind of treat this as an off season with everyday practices, we're able to completely break down skills and kind of build up our base again. So for me in particular, completely reinventing the wheel with my passing and everything. And it's just been awesome to take that time to work through it. And I know it's going to be a long process, but we have that time now. So I'm looking forward to the end result out of it all.
You've been on campus, obviously, practicing at War, but what's the whole atmosphere like there these days? And obviously, there's not nearly as many people around. Does that must be just a weird feeling as well every day when normally it's just packed with people, and these days it's pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's quite the ghost town on campus. Like all you're seeing is athletes around going from where they're practicing to lifting at Doug Mitchell and then going home, whether it's off campus or on campus in res, but you're only kind of seeing the athletes around because there's no classes and isn't anybody on campus otherwise.
Last week we got the tough news about the Canada West season being canceled and no national championship for in the spring. Obviously that must have been a big blow for everyone and for you guys. I assume there was a lot of emotions and a range of emotions. How did you kind of deal with that news when it came down last week?
Well, as a team, we kind of expected that our season would be canceled, so we didn't get our hopes up at all for kind of a national championship or Canada West championship. So it wasn't so much as a shock, but just finally hearing that news, it did kind of set in that there isn't so much of an end goal of this year, but that doesn't mean that we still can't get work done in the gym, on court and in the weight room. So there's still a lot to look forward to for this year and a lot to get better at.
And hopefully, in the coming weeks, have some meaningful competition against some of the more regional rivals. One of the local teams. How excited are you to have that possibility to finally face some other competition? You're probably getting sick of facing your teammates every day.
Yeah, I know for myself and for a bunch of my other teammates, we're really excited to get some competition going. We've spent probably 4 weeks now playing each other and picked up a lot on each other's tendencies. So it'll be good to try and pick apart other teams' plays and strategies and have that game-like strategy and adaptation in the game.
Coming into this season, you guys were going to be, definitely a favorite in the Canada West. We saw the resurgence of the team last year and so much excitement about what you guys can accomplish. How do you feel about going forward and the opportunity you have hopefully next year, and then especially with all the new recruits that have been added in, and you guys are looking pretty strong here?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we couldn't get this year to kind of prove what we've been working on for the past 2 years now. But now just having this extra year to now bring out the recruits that we've now acquired, and only losing kind of Jordo last year, we're able to really solidify our team. And with the new kind of eligibility, now our team's probably going to look quite a bit the same next year, with even more recruits. So it's looking very good for us next year if we're able to have a season. And I'm just excited for, competition and actually going for that national championship.
How was your summer? You're a local guy, so I assume you spent a lot of time in the outdoors and stuff. What was your summer like? Did you have some training, or did you take a lot of time to enjoy the great weather we actually had this summer?
Yeah, so this was kind of my first summer off in a very, very long time. So I made sure to enjoy it. Fully took the summer off of volleyball and very minimal weightlifting, just because wasn't able to get into the gym. But I did spend my fair time at the beach down in White Rock, and just doing all the water sport activities, doing a lot of spike ball. So still getting a little bit of volleyball skills if you might want to transfer those two sports. But no, I definitely enjoyed my time out in the mountains and in the water.
One thing through all this that maybe a lot of people on the outside don't realize is that, as student athletes at UBC, as Thunderbirds, you guys, it's not just your own team, but you guys do a lot with other teams. You support other teams in their games. And, like with the women's volleyball team, for example, you travel together a lot. None of that stuff's happening now. How have you guys been able to support each other, and how much do you miss that camaraderie with the other programs and other teams?
Yeah, it's very hard to kind of support each other. I know a couple other teams are having some scrimmages and stuff with some local rivals, but we aren't able to go out and support. So it's all just kind of online via social media, messaging each other and, giving them the support that way. So it would be nice if we are able to get out to some of the local games, and even if they're outside, just cheer from afar and show our support that way.
So because there's no travel and you got a bit more time on your hands these days, how are you filling that void besides schoolwork and training? What have you been able to pick up any new hobbies, or what's been keeping you busy besides schoolwork?
Yeah, so with a lot of the free time and a lot of free time on the weekends without travel, it's been hard to kind of fill my time. But one thing that me and my roommates have been doing is playing a lot of rock band. So we got that set up in the living room, and it's almost a nightly routine now to play a few songs before going to bed. And after finishing homework, it's just awesome to have and awesome to fill my time with.
Besides competition and all that stuff, what are you most looking forward to doing again once this pandemic is in the past?
There is a lot of things that I would love to do once we kind of get back to normal, but I think just spending a lot of time with everybody, like all the other athletes on campus, and having that kind of physical communication between everybody in classes, on other teams, and just that support from one another, not just on social media, but actually having that in person. So I'm most looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Michael, for taking a few minutes to talk, and best of luck going forward. Hopefully we'll see you on the court real soon, and keep at it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again, Jeff. It's very nice talking to you.